Greetings, dear precious spirit soul that you are. Always want to remember who you are and never forget, you see. Take a nice deep breath into your heart. Exhale through your mouth. Notice right where you are. Be right there. And my topic, what you focus on increases. That's almost like you vote with your dollars, your money, or your energy, your consciousness. You vote with your focus. What does vote mean? Well, I'm agreeing with that. I'm agreeing with that. Or oftentimes I'm giving these people the power to tell me and to decide for me my life. Okay, so what you focus on increases because of who you are. And it increases for you. It's not about ignoring what appears to be and what's going on in the manifestation, the creation. You observe it and know what it is. So there's two parts. It's about love and the law. Love is who we are, personalness. The law is impersonal in that sense because it's mechanical. It's a machine. An impersonal machine would be the impersonal. You would need to know about how this outer reality operates, how this you might call it dimension, whatever you want to call life. You can observe it really by gardening. It's just because as you look at nature and you're around in nature, what does nature have in common? A seed. A seed is an idea, a concept, a thought. And they could also know that everything has a creator. So there's somehow the idea of trees and how they're designed and how they are and how they grow, and every aspect of it is a creation of some kind, you see, because all of those aspects and everything that it is. When we focus on something, that means if you're in a relationship and you're always focusing on what's wrong with the other person, you're always upset. And then the other person senses it and feels it also because we're all telepathic. And that's why words are often just lies. And it isn't about what we say we're going to do, it's what we do. So a lot of people, and all of us included, we could talk about what we're going to do one day and how we're going to change and how we're going to do this. And any kind of change happens in the moment right now. And it's not the next now that it happens, it's this now. When we focus here on our heart, our powers increase because we're acknowledging our source, our presence, that we are part of, our beloved, and that loving relationship, reciprocal, giving and receiving. That law we might call the law of circulation. The outer law comes from love in a sense because it is a simulation or a copy. The impersonal would be a copy because the personal is who we are. And you're always a person. And yet we can act as if we're machines. We can act or behave or think as robots, or we can act or think or as a cartoon character or a stereotype. We can take on any of these because of who we are. And that means that if we're always focusing on the past and lamenting it and wanting to change it and hating ourselves and others, and we're focusing on always listening to the mind to tell you what a loser you are and how awful you are, or the mind telling you how superior you are and greater than everybody else you are, and all of these kind of things. This is the mind. And when you focus on your thoughts and believe all those thoughts that are flowing through the mind instead of having discernment as to what's going on rather than blind faith, you take your power back and you're focusing on yourself. You're divine, the power that you are part of, the love. And that absolute love is also absolute joy, absolute compassion, absolute totality that we are part of all divine qualities and abilities and talents and powers, all of it. See, this is who we are. And as we focus on divine knowledge and our studies, our meditations, our activation by applying what we're realizing, our strength increases. If we focus on hate or this cult of personality that seems so big in the world in politics, where it's always, you can hate this person, you can love this person, it's just, but no one's dealing with the real issues. This cult of personality is a distraction. It's a diversion, whether it's so-called celebrities, sport figures, politicians, and then it's name calling. It's keeping people at the level of, you might call it sibling rivalry, or at a game, and they could all yell and scream at each other and call each other names, but nobody's really looking to perceive what's really going on. And that's the very same in our lives. When we focus on minutia, pettiness, if we focus on just I coulda, shoulda, or woulda, but I didn't, and if I only could have, and if I could do it over, it's over. The past is over. Unless you dredge it up out of the mind, the storehouse of all of this, and it doesn't exist, and yet you're identifying with it, when who you are is who you are? Or you're focusing on the mind, and this might in the future, this could happen, and I could have this, and if only this, and this next deal, and when this finally happens, it's all going to be great. But it isn't, because the mind won't stop. You have to know this. And when we're focused on, you observe what's going on, absolutely. And yet you're not focused on it where it takes all your time and all your energy and all your attention. And I even said time, and time's a concept. Your focus gives life to inanimate. It makes it real, because then we accept it, we believe it's real, and then it becomes real. We experience it as it's real when we're real. And that is a real, like a movie reel. It's important to know what you're saying and what those thoughts are doing, and if you're allowing the mind to terrorize you. And if you're focused on that, and I coulda, shoulda, or woulda, or it's not fair, or nobody really got who I am and who I was and what I am, and this story and this nauseating, blah, 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 on and on and on and on, that's all you have? I know. And when we rise above that, we focus on what's really important. What's your priorities? They've got to be your spiritual life. I've invested hundreds of thousands and millions of so-called dollars. You vote with your energy, your dollars, your focus, your attention, your word. Everything is, you're voting all the time. I'm not giving someone else the power to be my representative. None. I don't need a representative. Neither do you. All we need, and even the word to need, is to massage. Yeah, to massage who we really are. So notice what you're focusing on. If it's hate, resentment, shame, guilt, getting even, grudges, it's focused on, it gets back to self-hatred. And once you give that up, you can love, because you're allowing yourself to experience who and what you already are and have. Focus on the absolute. And then what we call the relative is in harmony with the divine.